afternoon to everyone. I'm Shevar Suhair and today I'll be conducting a session on traditional education versus team approach. So this is my lecture series 1 and I hope to conduct more lecture series. I'm Shevar Suhair, senior lecturer and head of early childhood department, Amazon College, Bamlapitiya. So when we are talking about traditional education, let's look into the definition first. So what do you mean by traditional education? Traditional education is mostly known as a lecture-based or a didactic approach. And always this method of instruction, teacher will be always transmitting the knowledge to the students. It will happen only through lectures, readings, or always other forms of presentations. Now we can look into some of the limitations of the traditional education. So everything has its advantages and disadvantages. But due to the traditional education is always criticized, let's look into some of the limitations of the traditional education. So we can see here in the limitations, teacher is the focal point. Teacher becomes always the main center and she is the one who plans everything. Teacher-led approach, always the teacher is leading and the students have to follow. Focus on rote memorization. Children are used to that memorizing everything. Whatever the teacher says, some of them don't understand, but they keep memorizing. Teacher thinks she believes a fact that all students are same. She never believes a very important point where all teachers should know something called the individual differences. What do you mean by this individual difference? Individual differences means we believe that every child is different from each other. So it could be different in a child's capacity, how much they can absorb, different in a child's pace, how much time they need to learn something, and also certain children might be having different ways of learning. So some could learn through auditory, some could learn through visual, some could learn through kinesthetic. But in traditional setting, the teacher has this kind of a thinking that all the children are same. Subjects are taught in isolation. In this type of teaching, here children don't get a chance of integration. Every subject is compartmentalized and it is taught as solely a different subject. There is no room for interaction. Children are not allowed to interact with each other. And always children are passive learners. What they do is they quietly absorb all the information and the knowledge without typically getting engaged into the subject. Let's look at some of the interesting differences what we can see on traditional education and modern education. So you all can see here in the traditional education, see the differences are very clear. Teacher centered, always teacher sets the environment. Learner centered, it is learner friendly. It is always the student side. Student friendly. Then subject specific knowledge. The teacher will teach what is in the syllabus only. Subject specific and skill. So more towards the theory also and more towards to develop the child's skills. This is always one-way transfer of the knowledge because the teacher will only mainly do the speaking. This is a multi-way of transfer. So multi-way of transfer means teacher is also saying and the children are also given the opportunity to give their views, clear their doubts. Here we see this is passive and limited. Children are just sitting in one place and just absorbing whatever the teacher is teaching. Here again, it's the same thing. It's interactive and children are engaged to certain, maybe certain project works or certain assignment is given. Here always it is theory. Notes are given and children copy down. So it is always theoretical based. Here conceptual and practical. So they are always given an opportunity to do some practice on what they learn. So these were some of the wonderful differences which we saw here and we were able to understand better. Let's look into what is STEM and STEAM. So what do you understand by the abbreviation STEM and STEAM? So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. So what is the difference we see here? So the difference here is that addition of A. So what happened was when STEM was becoming popular, some main uh, important thing was missing, and that was arts. So when the arts came into practice, it was like, it made them go to a next level. So when we talk about STEM and STEAM, STEM changed the system and it became as STEAM. So here it's a way which takes the benefits of STEM and completes the package. Earlier, even though it was STEM, we felt that the package was still not completed. But after the arrival of arts, right, we feel now the package is very much completed and all these areas are integrated properly. So STEAM takes STEM into a next level. So this completed package allows the students to connect their learning in these critical areas together with arts practice elements, design principles, and standards to provide the whole palette of learning at their disposal. So it is like, something like we say a full total development where art became very important for children. So STEAM removes all limitations and replaces them with wonder, critique, inquiry, and innovation. Let's go on to the next slide, which is a bit interesting. So here we can talk about some of the good quality benefits of STEAM education. So why we need to follow this new approach of STEAM education? It has wonderful purposes. Believe me, when we really use this STEAM education, we see the output is marvelous. So let's look into some of the benefits. So number one is the collaborative approach. So when we talk about collaborative approach, what is it? So instead of competing with each other, the students are taught to learn to collaborate, especially when it comes to projects. They learn how to contribute their knowledge, skills, and talents in achieving common goals and are prepared to become team players at work. So see, when we understand what is collaborative approach, it is really important that children work as collaboration. Second one, when you have STEAM approach in your school, you can encourage creativity, which is a very important ingredient a child should have when he is facing the 21st century skill. So creativity. So instead of merely following always the mixed instructions or steps, students are encouraged to develop the steps. Students are encouraged to develop their own method of solving problem or accomplishing a project. The STEAM curriculum emphasizes the fact that there are many possible approaches to problem solving. So it's not one, there are many, right? So it allows students to use not only their technical knowledge, but also their imagination. Everybody's imagination is welcome. So it is kind of like, their own work, not the teacher's work. Next one is it also helps to improve the social skills. which is very important. Children need to be socialized when they are in the early childhood development stage. So when we say that the STEAM education approach improves social skills, there is something hidden behind. So always emotions come with social. So emotions also need to develop. So since STEAM curriculum has a holistic collaborative approach, it also helps improve students' emotional intelligence. So there we see it's an advantage. Children's emotional intelligence is also being developed with the social skills. They learn how to work with others and be expressive and to become more socially adaptable. They get that trait, they get that confidence to work as a team, as in society, to be in society. They will be able to deal with various types of personality and cultural background. They will not back out. They have that confidence. Empathy, leadership, and friendship are also developed in this process. Point number 4, exposure to multimedia and multi-platform education. So exposure to these two fantastic headings. Students will not only learn about laboratory equipment or scientific instrument, they will also be exposed to various media and the platforms. They will include various art materials, digital tools, hardware, machines, and different methods. So see, if we can take an example, a student will learn how to use CAD when he is designing or building a machine. So that is a very great achievement. Let's look into the next benefits of STEAM education. Number 5, critical thinking skills. Don't we think that children should know to critically think? Or it is always the teacher's thinking, it should be always forced to the child? No, that is really wrong. It could always be something like a stereotype. Whatever the teacher is drawing, children copy and they draw the same thing. So this is not the critical thinking. This is all the teacher's idea. So it is, so actually what is this critical thing? Let's look into the definition. It is the ability to examine the factual and logical merit of a new set of information and form a rational and informed opinion about certain issues. It is about weeding out irrelevant and all the misleading information. Being able to transcend personal biases and avoiding irrational dogmatisms are important in developing critical thinking skills. It has lot indeed. So another wonderful benefit is when we have STEAM approach, children will boost their curiosity. So curiosity is another important part when your child is in the early childhood level. It is always that we need to understand as parents, as caregivers and adults, we need to always feed your child's curiosity. They might be asking many questions, but as adults, we have to intelligently answer all their questions. The more we answer, the more the brain development takes place. So students are encouraged to be curious about wide range of topics. They are trained to ask very much deeper questions about how and why the things work. So you might have a student who might even ask you, Miss or Auntie, why are these leaves green? So see, they are curious to know why the leaves are green. So this is the boundary between the humanities and the natural sciences. When it comes to the real world applications, Students are taught not only the theoretical and academic concepts, but more importantly, the real world applications of their knowledge and skills. And when it comes to abstract mathematical concepts, students can be taught how to apply them in real life situations. This is really very important. Whatever they are taught, they have to apply to the real life situations. Students can be taught to apply into real life situations. So in that context, let's take an example. When they learn these mathematical concepts, they can use it as household budgeting, logical and computational skills. The integration of arts in science-oriented curriculum enhances students' computational and logical skills. Other factors are considered aside from technical aspects. For example, when it comes to solving the problem of climatic change, it requires a multidisciplinary approach. So in my next lecture series, I'll be talking to you about what do you mean by this multidisciplinary approach. And it will be quite very interesting because multidisciplinary approach is also proved to be a very good approach in teaching, but also includes significant socio-economic and geographical consideration. Hence, computation must factor in other subtle and indirect variables when it comes to solving problems. Then last but not the least, so what does the importance of STEAM education summarize to us? So this importance of STEAM education and the benefits which we saw helps the students preparing for the real world challenges. The integrated and the holistic approach of STEAM education makes the student more adaptable to the wide range of situations and the challenges. Let's move on to our next slide and look into the 4 important skills of the 21st century. So what are the 4 important skills of the 21st century? So we can clearly see it's critical thinking, it's creativity, communication, and collaboration. These are the very much important skills needed for the 21st century. So in the 21st century, the demand for our rapidly evolving world required children to develop essential skills referred to as the 4 C's. So I'm sure we all are familiar with them. Traditional education, with its emphasis on rote memorization and one-sided approach, often falls short in providing the necessary space for children to cultivate these vital skills. Let's look at each of the skills in detail. So we have critical thinking. So it allows us to analyze, or it allows the children to analyze information, solving problem, and they are able to make firm decision. Creativity, they are able to think outside the box. So this allows to foster the innovation and the adaptability. Communication, it allows to empower children to express themselves effectively. Collaboration, it helps for teamwork and cooperation. So why? Why do you think 21st century skills are important? Yes, so when we talk about 21st century skills, it is crucial to nurture the 4Cs as the fundamental skill of early childhood is a formative period. And what happens in this formative period? A child's cognitive abilities and social skills develop very much rapidly. So when we know that these two skills are developing, so this is the sensitive period where we have to nurture all these 21st century skills. So here what we do is, since we know that these skills are developing, we need to encourage all these skills through interactive activities. So it is up to the teacher's duty what kind of activities she's giving the children. So your activity should be very much interactive, then fostering creativity, and there should be, they should give imaginative play, then promote effective communication in social interaction, and also introduce projects. So through projects, collaboration takes place. And with all this, you can contribute to a well-rounded skill set. This all link to some of the famous theories whom we study. So the person behind the child's brain development theory, where he taught us about the 4 stages of the brain development in the child. So can someone guess who is he? He is Jean Piaget, right? So Jean Piaget, theories like Jean Piaget, Vygotsky, and Maria Montessori. When students progress in their journey, the long-term benefits of these 4 Cs become more apparent. In the professional fields, individuals who excel in critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration are better equipped to navigate complex challenges and to contribute meaningfully to their workplace. Recognizing those limitations of traditional education, in cultivating these skills, now we see that there is a positive change, right? So what are these positive change? Many schools now you will see are embracing this team education approach. So by integrating science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, it provides a holistic and interdisciplinary approach. It encourages hands-on learning, problem solving, and creative expression. So naturally, you will be fostering the 4 Cs. Schools that embed in STEAM concepts to equip students with skill they need to thrive in the 21st century, preparing them for future adaptability, innovation, and collaboration, which are the key success. It aligns with the evolving needs of our world, ensuring children does not acquire knowledge, but also critical skills necessary for the dynamic and interconnected future. They can understand and apply the skill and the knowledge they have learned. So we have seen why these 21st century skills are very much important. Definitely, you will be seeing some positive changes in the children. At the end, you will see that these children are they are fully able to withstand any problems or any calamities. In the sense, They are fully prepared. They can confidently face the future. They are able to do any activities and they are able to be very confident adults. They have all the skills which are necessary: communication skills, collaborative skills, critical thinking, and creativity. So I hope my lecture series on traditional education versus STEAM approach was successful enough and you all were able to understand the gist of my lecture. Thank you so much for being a good audience to me, and very soon I will come back to you with my next lecture series. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great day. This is Shevar Suher, Senior Lecturer and Early Childhood Department Head, signing off for today. Thank you.